Hello. Okay, so I'm gonna rewrite gas today, all of it. I'm gonna entirely rewrite it, and we're gonna finish it in one day. No, I'm not gonna do it. I do think it's time. I do think it's time for that, though, to get that started. I was doing these scene meshes yesterday. I got a little stuck. We figured out the nanite scene meshes, which was great. But I couldn't get custom data to work on instances. Gas is gameplay ability system. That is Unreal Engine's like built-in framework for abilities. And I'm gonna rewrite it basically. I think I'm gonna just do a light pass though and just kind of rewrite the life cycle of it, but still keep the assets. Eventually I think we'll have to get rid of the assets because they're just gonna be inefficient. But yeah. But I wanted to take a break from the scene mesh things. It's probably just gonna have to be something I figure out offline because it's just me staring at code. It's not very good streaming content. I will say. Let me pin a comment. Okay. Where to start? I jotted down some notes last night on how I would want to start this. Apparently I jotted down 4 pages of notes. I didn't even realize. But I'm thinking that what I would want to do is just kind of rewrite the processing of it. Keeping the gameplay, because like I'm gonna have to rewrite basically all of my abilities eventually, but I don't, that's like a big first step, right? And so I think an intermediary step would be to just get the flow of it going, and I think that'll help me better understand what I need out of this system, and also allow me to just like keep the logic intact for what I have and then make sure it still works. So I think that's what we're going to do today. Tomorrow is my CS exam. Give me some tips on SQL. Oh, my dude, you got to go study. You are a lost cause if you keep scrolling YouTube shorts. You got to hop off. Got to hop off and study, man. I can't help you. You are the only one who can save yourself. I'm also not great at SQL, despite using it quite often for my job. Okay, so let's talk about gameplay abilities. So, usually we have the ability system component. I want to get rid of that. So I already have like a gameplay tag entity data. Excuse me, entity data. And that can replace just like the tag container part of the ability system component. But then I still need abilities to be executed and canceled, blocked, and then I still need that logic within the ability to run, and then I need effects to be applied and removed and whatnot. So I think that's going to be the part that I'm going to work on today. Hopefully, you can get that working? Question mark. We'll see, and maybe I should, let's look here. So I have the entity system, my entity system. Thanks for the dude, I'm gonna go now. Okay, good luck on your test. Okay, I feel like I want to separate all of the ability system stuff into a different folder. Bro, welcome in. I think that would be good. Maybe I should enumerate on what I need first, though. So yeah, definitely need something to... I need like an F ability, activate ability data. And I think each of my abilities are going... An ability is going to be an entity. Going for my second hackathon. Nice. I hope you have fun. I hope you learn. And I hope you also pass your SQL exam, if you have one of those. Yeah, so the ability is going to be an entity. So we're going to have F activate ability data. And I guess I need to make a distinction between whether I want an ability ID or an archetype or an archetype, or like how I'm going to correlate those together. And I think I want to store the abilities in some sort of asset for ease of use. Ease of use. And it would be nice to have curve flow tables, although that's not going to be very... That's not going to be very efficient. If I wanted to... I wonder if I should just have a map of int to float for like level things. The curve tables are so nice though. Okay, so I guess I'm trying to think about how I want to store curve tables, but because I imagine those are not very tight. Not very tight. If I had a ustruct. If I had a ustruct. Can I get one auto generated, please? Thank you. And I had a t-object. I guess it's a pointer, so it's not that big, but then that's like, yeah, that's not very cache locality, is it? Curve table. The curve table size is 200 bytes. Yeah, that's a little large. It's a little large. Okay, so I could do something where... Moxie, sit. Sit. I could do something where when these ability structs get initialized, it'll extract what's needed from the curve table based on what the max level is. So the reason I want to use these curve tables is it was a concept in Gas that was really nice. It was really nice. Where, you know, abilities can have levels to them, like you can have a level 1 fireball and a level 2 fireball. And then there were these curve tables that you could use for different things like mana cost, cooldown, damage for each level, and it would like extract the right value, which were really nice to use. So wait, do I even need to create entity data for this at first if I'm going to reuse the gameplay abilities? I at least need the activate ability data. Here, let's do this. Let's do this. Call this game. Make a gameplay folder. Let's just start adding. Well, anyways, I started blasting, and this is going to be activate ability data. That needs to be a ustruct. And that needs to have... Yeah, we need some way... I guess we would just do the class at first. So we can just do... edit defaults only for T subclass of... Yeah. Ability class. Yeah, so that would just be what we're going to get rid of that eventually. This is just like a intermediary solution. And yeah, so the target. Yeah, so the target. which piece of entity data cares about the target? I could put it on here for like when we're activating an ability. What target are we doing it? Well, I guess we would want a source as well. No, the source would be the entity that this piece of data is on. And then we have the ability activation processor that like does all the checks, which basically would just call can activate ability for now. So yeah, I think we would want a target entity data. And I think that's going to get reused. Target entity data. I don't know. Is that gameplay? That feels gameplay-y. Let's put that in the gameplay folder. Target ability data. I think I want to, yeah, let's make a naming convention. So I think we're going to suffix all of these with ability data, and there could be effect data as well. So I think the nomenclature should be ability data here. Target ability data. Okay, we'll do that. And you are going to have an F entity, target entity, basically. Is that all you need? I think so. F target ability. I think actually this should be target entity data. I think it actually makes more sense to call this target entity data, because all it has in it is an entity, so it could be reused for a lot of things. Wait, what? Oh, right. I forgot I did this. Oh, and I did the F targetable, which stores an entity and a location. I mean, that's fine. We can do that. We can do that. Pre-populate the location there. So actually, let's delete this. Delete this. We'll reuse the other one. F target entity data. Target data. Okay. And I guess this could be empty or something, right? Because I could just be casting an ability with no, like I could be casting a like an AoE or something that doesn't have like an explicit target. And so I suppose for things like that, let's think about an AoE ability here real quick in the context of an ECS. So we would try to activate an ability. The ability activation processor is going to go through and check like range, cooldown, mana cost, you know, all that stuff, and see whether or not it can activate. Then it's going to call just the execute function. And so am I doing target before that, or am I going to grab the target off the entity, like the current target? Let me look at how something like cast ability works here real quick. King, welcome in. Cancel on move, cancel on sprint. Activated, but yeah, we're not actually doing a whole lot in here. Okay, never mind. We are. How was your day? My day's just getting started. So far, so good. Yeah, I guess for now we don't really care about the target, right? We don't really care about target data at the moment because it's all just going to run through our old gameplay abilities. Everything's just going to run through that. So I don't think we care about the target data in here anymore. Let me look at like melee auto attack ability. Where is the targeting information? I forget how that... I haven't worked with gas in so long. Like that just that's like on the spec, right? Trigger event data, that's like the optional object. Yeah. How does this actually, when does this actually deal damage? I've forgotten. I have forgotten. It's probably in blueprints, actually. Let me look. Forgot how I made all of my abilities. Melee auto attack ability. Oh yeah, this one, is there no logic in here? I'm so confused. Melee auto attack ability. Oh right, it's all from like the Q calculators and stuff. Yeah. Okay. I forgot. Yeah, deal damage to current target. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so it just, this is what I was looking for. It just gets the current target on the source component. Okay, so the source component, that may be a concept that we change. So I don't want to have ability system components anymore. That's the goal. The goal is to get rid of ability system components today. Oh, we may not complete that today, but we're going to keep the gameplay abilities and the gameplay effects, and we're just going to try and get rid of the source components. And so, get ability system component from actor info. Yeah, this is going to be, it's going to be interesting to try and activate these abilities with this information here. Actor info. There's a lot of information here that I don't... activation info. What is activation mode? Oh, authority and stuff, okay. Ooh, all of the replication is going to be... Oh, so fun to get rid of. I'm scared, hold me. Gameplay event data. Target. Thing is, like, that's an actor, which kind of sucks. What is the context handle? Gameplay effect context. Ability level, world origin... Replicate source, basically just replication and ability level. Unless I hate that they put the members at the bottom. For me, these always go at the top of a class. Okay, we have the ability CDO, instigator. God, those are all actors. I hate it. Ugh. What are we gonna do about that? If they were just U objects, we could probably, I basically need like instigator and stuff like that, but to be entities. An F entity. Instigator tags, target tags. God, there's so much. There is so much. So all of these are effectively useless for me now. I guess I will still need to use some trigger event data for some abilities. Draconin, gas rewrites. I'm here for it. Hell yeah. Yeah, so I think my first crack at this is going to be just trying to replace the ability system component. And eventually I'll be getting rid of, I think, the gameplay abilities and effects themselves and rewriting those into Like, I think an effect and an ability are both going to be entities with different pieces of entity data on them to define how they work. But that would require me to basically rewrite everything, and I don't want to do that all in one go. So I think I'm just gonna have like a couple processors to like activate abilities, apply gameplay effects, handle those interactions first. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to get these instantiated. Bro, how to write art contracts in Solidarity. I think you might have the wrong stream, my dude. we're programming here. But welcome in nonetheless. Happy to have you. So yeah, I think this is suffice to say that do we need target data? So I think this activate ability data is probably going to have to take the place of all of the data that's in here. And so it will be on... I will have the entity because this will be applied to the entity, so I'll have like the owner or activator entity. And so the target we're going to have to get from that, I think. Although I could just get the current target. I think we get the current target. No, we should do it. We should do it like this because this is more granular. I think whenever we press the button for like the ability, that's when we set the target and stuff like that. What language? English. Get owning actor from actor info. Yeah, so we're going to be using that a lot. So I can grab the proxy actor and use it there when I fill these out. And that'll help me replace some of that functionality. So I will need to, yeah, we will need to grab that. Let's write a processor. Do I continue just putting those in processors? I think I want to separate them. My processor, yes. And we're going to call this ability activation processor. Okay. We want process entities. Okay, and so then we're going to go query dot with all dot for each. And just kind of pre-populate some of these. Yeah, so that's like kind of the base that we do here. Oh, I wish I kind of want to change to 2 spaces indentation. So with all, we would want any entity with an F activate ability data on it. And then I would want F proxy actor entity data as well. To be able to populate some of that stuff. And I guess I need to check the gameplay tags data as well. Entity data, which will be const f gameplay tag entity data. Although I think that may need to be a ref, a mutable, so that we can add any tags from the gameplay component. We'll need to handle tags as well. So I guess the first thing is first is that we need to make sure we have the proxy actor data. Yeah. I don't know what all this is. Don't know what all that is. That is incomplete. So if we don't have either of those things, return. Mister, it smells like kibble in here now. My dog's just underneath my desk munching away. So once we have this, we would want to, I guess we would want to spawn an instance of the gameplay ability. Am I going to use specs and handles still? Input source. God, these are so heavy. I mean, I'm going to need to get rid of them eventually anyway, so I should probably opt to not reuse as much as possible. Yeah, I don't think I should use any of this. Yeah, I don't think we should use gameplay specs. I still want the ability, we need to spawn like a new equals, yeah, new object. Is that, get, there we go. So yeah, we have the outer as well, which we can just put on the proxy actor. So we'll have like a new gameplay ability. And then here's where we can, I guess we can just call, yeah, like the can activate ability shit. And then there's a lot of things that we need to like create here. Yeah, so what are all these? So we want F guimeplay, ability, spec, handle. These are all gonna be like just dummy data, just to pass it in. I guess let's just like grab all this, yeah. Spec handle, actor info, source tags, target tag. I don't think I use source or target tags in anything, so can I just let's just make those like that. Optional relevant tag. Actor info needs to be a pointer? Question mark? I guess they all do. But I'm just making, am I making an empty pointer there? Does that actually work? Let's just null pointer instead. Wait, is there already like a null pointer one? No, there's not. Okay. Okay. Spec handle seems to need to be defined. Oh yeah, this is just straight up not gonna work. I can't reuse. I have to rewrite the can activate ability. Yeah. Bro, am I gonna be able to reuse any of this without having to fully fill out all of this stuff? Yeah, if there's no ability system component, it's going to return false every time. I guess here, my gameplay ability base. And activate ability. We should not call the super anymore. And just return true. And then we should, any logic that was in there, which I think will be for like tags and stuff, we will want to rewrite. So we'd want to check like cooldowns and all that stuff. Actor info I still think is worth populating with something. Avatar actor, avatar actor, no, we want, like, there's the owner, yeah, there we go. The owner actor we put in there. Avatar actor, I don't want to have to look that up. We're never going to use avatar actor. Let's just make that clear. Let's make that clear. Can activate ability. If B can activate ability, do something else, we'll do something. Yeah. And so I probably need a list of like active abilities somewhere. Make a folder for data. Move that in there, yeah. Probably don't need that. But let's still add the folder. Activate ability data. Okay. Appreciate your consistency. By the way, I also have the same timing for my coding practice, so it motivates me to get started every time I see you. Hell yeah. Have fun with your practice. Let me see here. So, can activate ability, that theoretically works. There's going to need to be some more that we do, though. I need to check. Cool. Maybe I should just put that in here. Hit the make game button. Yeah, my make game button is broken. It's split across an entire keyboard of buttons now. So I'm trying to press them in the right order to make the game. I could check all the cooldowns and stuff myself in here. Let me look at the cooldown thing. We do have check cooldown. These probably all require, yeah, this all requires ability system components and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to rewrite all that. Yeah. Yep, okay. Okay. I need some cooldown information. So on the gameplay ability, let's just start kind of speccing this out. We'll decide where it needs to go later. Gameplay ability. I do have a cooldown curve table row handle. Ooh, I guess with the activation info, I need to know the level of the ability. That's important. It's important. And then we can eval with the what is it? Ability data, activation data. Dot level. Yeah, just give it some dummy text here. Float cooldown. Although I guess I need something to keep track of the cooldowns. Right. So if an ability is already activated and it's on cool, I guess I need to check. There needs to be some other piece of data that I check for like cooldowns or something. How would I store like abilities on cooldown? I don't know that I would want to store like how big is this piece of entity data? 48. Okay, so T subclass of you, my gameplay ability base is not a bad identifier. How big is a T subclass of? I guess I can find out by just doing that. 8. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty tiny. That's pretty small. We can do that. We can use that as an ID. So I would need to store some T subclass of, like a map of T subclass of, and like time remaining. And I would need some like cooldown processor. Yeah. That sounds good. But the thing is, like, I guess there's two different types of ways we can do this, right? We can store abilities as entities and then just iterate over the individual abilities. Processor would iterate over abilities. Or we could store like F cooldown ability data on the owner, or like we'll call it the caster, instigator, that's the better term, instigator entity, and iterate over that. There's two different ways to do that, and I guess what would be nice about what we'll call this option A and option B. Any one language you would recommend for general purpose home labbing and automation? Probably just Python. That sounds like a Python job. I did some home automation back in the day as well, and I think I did Python for that. But yeah, general purpose, I think Python's your go-to there for anything general purpose. Okay, so yeah, we can store abilities as entities. That's nice because we're only iterating over abilities that exist, right? Because if an ability is ended, it's just not going to be an entity anymore, so we wouldn't even iterate over it. Whereas with iterating over entities with cooldown ability data, I guess we could add and remove that data if it doesn't exist, you know? I guess like from the perspective of activating this ability, I would need to look up what the cooldown is, or if there is one. And it would be easier to do that from the perspective of the casting, the instigator entity. Iterating over I do know that abilities will eventually need to be entities, though. That's the thing. So when we're activating a new ability, I do need to know I guess doing like a nested for each in here wouldn't be too bad, because I would only iterate over the other active abilities or abilities on cooldown. Yeah, the most straightforward thing to me in my mind right now is to just create like a T map on a piece of, call it you know, active ability data, and then just have a T map of active abilities on there. Have a T map of like, or call it like what did I say? Cooldown ability data as well. Same concept. Have a T map, or maybe even just an array on there, and then from in here we would grab that optional data. And then, yeah, check if it's on check if it exists as a cooldown. If we don't do that, then what we would have to do is, if they were stored as individual entities, then we would need to do this for each in here, for each cooldown, for each ability entity that exists in the world. Check if it's this one and has the same caster, instigator. That seems inefficient. I'm gonna have to flip my brain from thinking in like an object-oriented way to a you know, composition over inheritance type of way as well. Which is why I'm spending a little bit of extra time thinking about this. I mean, I don't know. That just seems inefficient. So I think what we should do is just store abilities on cooldown data. Let's add a piece of entity data here. So this is going to be cooldown ability data. Now, see, when abilities get turned into entities, I will probably need to have a piece of data that represents the cooldown on an ability, and so that's probably what cooldown ability data will be. So I'll probably call this abilities on cooldown. We'll call it that. Are you going to link ranged attack damage to a projectile entity, or just do the calculation directly on the target with delay to fit animations? So animations are not a consideration for damage calculation for me. I don't think they probably shouldn't be for anyone, I would think. I don't think you want your calculations to be determined. Like, an animation should just sync up with what the state of the world is. I guess, in my opinion. Maybe there's a different way to do it, but in my opinion, you should not have anything like bound by animation. And I guess what you're asking is, you know, where does the damage calculation happen? So in Gas, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Gas, but there are gameplay effects. And usually you would have a gameplay effect that has a modifier for some damage attribute. And the damage attribute is just kind of a transient piece of attribute data, which is just like a floating point number, right? That gets used in, you know, over the course of a single frame. And then there are gameplay effect calculation execution thingies. I forget what the actual term is, but then they can take in all the information from the actor, the source and target actor ability system components, and grab all the different attributes that can affect damage and stuff like that. And then they do that calculation. And so usually that happens when you apply the gameplay effect. And applying a gameplay effect, you know, if it's a projectile-based attack, what happened whenever the projectile hits the target? So the calculation, you know, it neither happens on the projectile or the target. Like that, it happens as a within the ability system. But abilities on cooldown. So I guess we would just want, I guess a T set would actually be nice here. But you know, O of N can actually be faster than O of 1 when N is small, so maybe a T set is not the right move here. T subclass app, view my gameplay ability base. Let's spell that correctly. Abilities on cooldown. So this is going to be with optional, I think. Because we may remove this if there aren't any. Could I do that? Could I do that? Add and remove it if it's not there. Abilities on cooldown. Yeah. I should have like a get or add function. I think that would be useful. I think that would be useful here. Pablo, thank you for the sub and welcome in. Okay, so register attack hit. Apply damage to target based on caster level, gear, and buffs. Yeah, I think essentially that's the order of operations, yeah. Yeah, let me look at here. A get or, because I think for the ability system entity stuff, I'm gonna need a lot of like, get this piece of data if it exists, otherwise add it. But the adding entity data is a latent thing now, so that's kind of annoying. And so how would I return like a ref for that? I think I would need something like It would need to be templated. And then it would probably, I would need like an output parameter, right? F entity. But it would need to be like an output T pointer ref to populate. Is that right? Add the entity. Yeah, I have to queue add data. No, welcome in. So I'd have to create some new data here of type T. And then I need to make sure that the out pointer well, no, I would need to out pointer equals ref to T and pointer to just like some piece of data. Do I move? Does this work? I don't think this works. Do I move? We do the instance struct component in place. Add entity data, data instance. Set data. Instance struct. We get the pointer, dereference it. We don't do a move, so it wouldn't be the same piece of data. Okay, a get or add actually I think is impossible. I think it's actually impossible with how I have the system written right now. Yeah, because it's like if it doesn't exist. Well, if it doesn't exist, it's not on cooldown, and we can just add it. Right. Yeah, so maybe having a separate function for that is a bit overkill. Maybe optional data is okay. B cooldown. Cool B is on cooldown. Yeah, that's effectively it. Is on cooldown, then we need to check. Okay, so check. I'll say check cooldown. Range is another one. Cost. What else do I need to check? Cooldown, range, cost, tags. I think that's it. I think that's it. So I just want to kind of enumerate these here. B is in range. And so the range information is going to be on the ability itself. Let's just call that ability. Simplicity. Ability range. Get max range. Oh, I have these nice little functions. Oh, but they depend on ability system components. Okay. Ooh, there's going to be so many blueprints that need to change. Ooh, there's going to be so many blueprints that need to change. Okay. Is within max range. Now needs to pass in an entity. Or rather an F targetable. Is within max range. Oh, how many blueprints do I use that in? 2. Okay, that's not too bad. In ranged ability. That's not too bad. So, and that's on the source. Right. I kind of want to maybe rewrite one of these. Still keeping this intact so the blueprints don't just shit themselves. Yeah, I guess it's not too much. So distance to target. Distance to. Yeah, that's a function I probably need to. Let's move that into. Do I use this in blueprints at all? I don't think so. Okay, so let's move that to. Oof. Current location. I guess I need the location data here too. I guess it stands to reason that any entity that is activating an ability should have a piece of location data on them. There's a lot of checks that are going to need to happen in this processor. I guess the only members we need are entity and subsystem. Yeah, we need to rewrite this into, let's make a new class for some utils here. I have my generic utils. I've been needing to split that up into different classes for a long time. Let's just make it a U object. Let's do a U object. U object, we'll call this entity ability utils. Okay. And so looking at, where was the ability system component? There we go. So we're just going to copy this directly in there. Entity ability utils, distance to targetable and stuff like that. Yeah, so we should have the targetable passed in there. And I guess I just need to pass in the current. Oh my goodness. It just thundered and my dog did not like that. Big scaredy cats. They act all tough, but they're not. Const f vector current location, or maybe just like source location. Instigator. Yeah, we need to use the term instigator because that's pretty clear. Include that. Instigator location. So current location, we're going to change that with instigator location. Yeah, and then target ASC, we no longer want to do that. So, oh, we want the target bounds. Oof. Oof. The targetable bounds. Oh, man. Oh. Thank you for the sub and welcome in. Welcome. God, the bounds information is such annoying. It's like such annoying little pieces of data that I have to grab. Yeah, I guess I need to pass in the entity subsystem there. Yeah, I guess we got to do it. Guess we got to do it, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is F. Hang on. One second, guys. Hang on. Oh god. Y'all might have heard me yell at my dogs there. There was a phone call, and so they freaked out. On my girlfriend's work phone. And they were absolutely losing their shit. Back to work though. F-bounds entity data. What does BRB doggo go pee pee mean? It means doggos go pee pee. Next question. Did we want, yeah, we wanted pawn half height. And I suppose while I have this here, I might as well subtract the radius from it as well. Distance 2, and then yeah, might as well just subtract target bounds data, pawn radius from that. I know this seems like it could be a kind of general function. A distance 2. Do you accept code contributions to this project? No, I'm not really looking for that. Okay, so I have that now. And then I guess we can write another utility function for static bool is what did I call it in here? Is within max range. Is within max range. It should be like is ability I don't know, is within max range is probably clear enough. So we will want the my gameplay ability base ability. Get max range, but we need the source on it. Do we actually? Oh, I think it's all coming back to me as to why. As to why this may be the case. So I have this whole like, oh, the ability modifiers that I created. What am I gonna do about that? So in order to facilitate talent trees, I created a little system of my own within Gas. I called them ability modifiers. Ability modifier effects. Because I wanted to say something like, you know, I wanted to create a talent tree where some of the talents could be like, increase the range of X, Y, and Z abilities. Or something like that. Increase the critical strike chance of fire abilities. Increase the damage of the, you know, the fucking Frost Nova ability or whatever, you know, so that you could target specific abilities and have specific, like, combat events on those abilities that you could, like, target and modify. It's easy to write a talent that's just like increase crit chance by 5%, right? Because that's just an infinite gameplay effect that modifies crit chance attribute by 5%. Easy. Add 5%. But when you want these like conditionally applying transient things, transient in that you only really need to have it sticking around for the lifetime of one execution, so like one frame, right? So it's not like you want to store an attribute for all of this stuff that's modified for a single frame. And so I created these ability modifiers and stuff like that, and I think passing in source here was a way for me to help with that, because I'm going to need to grab the ability modifier. I don't think I did range yet, but like you'd also like reduce mana cost of the, you know, Blizzard ability. And so on the ability system component are a set of ability modifier effects that can be applied and potentially modify. So I'll need to think about that. Maybe I don't worry about that first though. Maybe I don't worry about that first, though. But yeah, for the weapon ability, I would need to know the range of the weapon. Right? Like, that's not on the ability. But I suppose I should calculate that and put it on the ability first before it gets in here. Foist. Rather than trying to, this is very like inheritance-y, you know? How many likes to rewrite UE? At least 2. At least 2. So I do have the range curve table row handle. So I think things like range, cooldown, cost. Those should probably all be evaluated up front. Those should probably all be evaluated up front. I'm not going to do test-driven development because I don't know what this is going to look like. So writing tests for a system that I don't know what it's going to look like is kind of a fool's errand. This is very, very exploratory coding, which is not really the where you would want to do TDD. TDD is great for small functions, small implementations in an already existing system. Not when you're like writing a new system from scratch. You will end up rewriting those tests a million times. Every dev hates test-driven development. I mean, there are times where it's useful and times where it's not. The thing with like test-driven development is like you can be good at writing code and bad at writing tests, right? Or it could go either way. And writing tests is there is some difficulty and challenge in that you have to write the test the right way. And like there's a lot of tests, like even to this day, like I don't write them right the first time. And I don't know that they're incorrect until I run the tests and see that it fails. And so it's like, even if I did test-driven development sometimes, like I could have just written the test wrong. And now I have two different places where something could be wrong, right? I either need to go to the code. Okay, is the code I just wrote wrong? Or is the test that I wrote wrong? The test could even give you a false positive, right? Which is even more dangerous, because then you think you've written the code correctly, and you haven't. So I don't think that there's a substitution for just running the actual program, right? Like that's like I like writing the code first, run the program and make sure it works, right? And then use that to facilitate what tests you write, you know? Because then in that way, there's only one place that it's going to be wrong, and that's the code you wrote, not just the test. Then once you get the code working, you write the tests, and if the tests aren't working, you know it's the test's fault, for the most part. What do you think about leveraging AI to write tests? I do it every day. Do it every day for work. I usually autocomplete most of the test file, but it's never 100% AI written. Never will be either, probably. TDD sounds great in theory, but I feel like it's mostly used for simple CRUD stuff. Yeah, like the more isolated something is, the easier it is to TDD it, you know? Interviewers love it when you tell, then you do it, but I'm not a huge fan either. I've never had an interview where they've asked me to do test-driven development. Yeah, I think doing test-driven development for, like, the larger something is, like, the more difficult it's going to be to do it correctly, and probably won't save you time. Because that was the whole sell on it, is that it's supposed to save you time, because you can just run the test, you know, to validate your code. Which, yeah, for small functions, you know, I've done that plenty of times in my life. Just so I don't have to, like, boot up the app or something, you know? And it's just, like, a small function that, you know, doesn't care about whatever ecosystem it's being ran in. It's nice for that purpose. But, you know, for every time I've done that, there's also been a handful of times where I've written that test and then realized, oh yeah, this function actually needs to do something slightly different or something. And then I have to go back and rewrite the test anyway. So it's like a waste of time sometimes. Hello, is it gas? Thanks for the sub. Welcome. For security, what computer language is needed, coder, bro? Go look at some job descriptions. They'll tell you exactly what you need. They will tell you exactly what you need. Okay, so yeah, I need like range and cooldown and all that stuff to be evaluated before it gets to this point. And we're doing all of that through the ability system component at the moment. Based on the target and stuff. And so this will probably... I guess I've kind of already written most of it. Some of it, I should say. Well, no, this is just for calculating the ability location. Okay. I guess get max range only happens from one place in blueprints, is within max range. Can activate ability. Okay, so that's actually already in there. Or, okay, I need to replace this. The problem is that I don't have the entity from this perspective. So that's on actor info. Is there any way I can pass in oh man, okay. How many of these do I actually like override in my project here? So the ability base, we're already looking at that one. Inactivate ability BP. Inactivated. Okay, that's just nothing. Why do I even have that? Why do I even have that? I'm not using it. They're really just ranged ability. Okay, so rewriting this won't be too bad. Let me think here. This is all based on equipment component for the ranged ability. Get ranged. Yeah, so there's some conditions for if it can activate an ability based on what equipment you have. How would I encode that into the ECS? Because in a composition over inheritance world, I guess you would have some piece of data that has which equipment is required, which equipment slot is required, and then the processor just checks that exists. Then this is also doing. It needs to have ammo, which is like a super specific thing. And so it's like this one line of code, or I guess these lines of code right here turn into like a whole piece of entity data, which is kind of annoying. That's kind of annoying. But I guess if I just do owner actor here, that works, because that's the one thing I am populating, so that would still, this would still work. So we'll change that there, and then I guess we just need to rewrite everything that's in here into the ability activation processor. And so let's grab, I guess we'll also need, we're splitting these out. We will also need, is this going to be, is the target going to be pre-populated on here? Because this is just grabbing current target. And I guess it would be nice to make it a little bit more modular, so it's not always just doing current target. So I think maybe current target is set before we get here, and then that's on the activation data. Ned Bolter, welcome. Welcome in. So I guess we check if we're alive. We check if we are alive. I forgot, did I add a dead tag? No, not yet. With your knowledge, why don't you make your own game engine? You know, just because you know how to recreate a wheel doesn't mean you should. Or that it's not a waste of time. Just having the knowledge is not a reason to do that. Just bought Twitch Turbo, so somewhat hype for chill ad-free streams. Did I have ads running? I should only have the entry ads on my stream. And I actually, which is a an opinion, I actually think I like the pre-rolls better than the mid-roll ads. They're both annoying, but it's like, I hate, like, cause like the having pre-rolls not enabled is like you're catering to new people, not people that stick around. Because I've been in streams where they do the 3 minutes of ads every hour. That is so fucking annoying. Or maybe they'll do like a minute and a half of ads every 30 minutes. That's so fucking annoying when I'm like working and I just want to have them on in the background and whatever. And it makes me not want to watch their stream. It's like, dude, I like this person. I want to hang out with them. Like I'm a you know, a somewhat dedicated viewer. You know, so the mid rolls are more damaging to the people who watch longer. If I'm jumping around trying to choose a stream, it's just impossible. Yeah, I agree. It's difficult to find new people with the pre-rolls. But I guess I think about it like I'm hoping that like having pre-rolls makes people have a little bit more stake in, you know, checking out my stream, maybe stick around for a little bit longer. Just because they, you know, kind of sunk cost fallacy, and I don't want to click on another stream that has pre-rolls, but definitely something to play around with. Although I don't think I have a massive, you know, viewership on Twitch enough to get some analytics on that, at the very least. But anyways, yeah, we need to refactor all these to not care about the ability system component. So it really just needs source, source entity, I think. Teach a man how to use a game engine, he'll make a game. Teach a man how to make a game engine, and he'll never make anything at all. that sounds right. Yeah, Dr. Elliott keeps wanting me to work on his engine with him. I'm like, no thank you. You're a bad influence on me. Not that I wouldn't enjoy that, I just want to get things done too, you know. Anyways, rewriting this shit. Okay, let's just copy pasta in here. So this is handling range and stuff. If B requires target. So that's going to be on the ability. And we'll want to grab the activation data if we don't have the target. Should I put that into a variable? Is target alive? Oh, geez. Okay, so I need to grab the target tag data. The problem is time. Could be fun to work on an engine, but I'd rather spend the time making something playable. Never enough time. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. My thoughts exactly as well. Is target faction attackable? Oh, I hate how much I put into here. I guess I need to move all these into my new utils, entity utils. Oh wait, there is a... Oh yeah. Okay, that's good. But then I need like the fucking, do I need to do the faction information in here too? This processor is starting to feel quite large with all the things that I need to rewrite in it. And I'm wondering if some of this should just be done outside of the ECS. Ability subsystem, targetable. From entity, get aggro towards entity. But I probably need the faction. I need the faction data in here too. That's gonna need to be in there. Source faction, or maybe just instigator faction, passing in target entity, and then I guess I would need to do something get aggro between factions. Which would be instigator faction. Then I need to grab auto towards, or I'll say target faction. That. If there is no faction, should I always attack? If there is no faction, should I always attack it or never attack it? Rizimo, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Welcome in. Welcome in. If it doesn't have a faction, some things might just not have factions. Should they be attackable by default? Yeah, we'll go attackable by default. Yeah. That way, like, just random ass things in the world don't need factions. Okay, so we're gonna do is target faction attackable. EU entity ability utils. Is target faction attackable? So faction data. I would want subsystem in there, faction data, and target entity. Which, let me put the target into like a function or into a variable here. Auto ref ability target. Actually just target. Just target. And we'll call that target dot entity. Okay. Member is inaccessible. Well, that makes sense. This is not captured. Okay. Is it better if I self-learn like cloud computing and mix it with cybersecurity and try to be specialist and get on or get uni degree and keep in mind I'm yeah, I can't. That's a really like specific question. That's like specific to you and your situation. Like, I don't think you want someone to answer that for you. Like, only you have the information about your situation that can answer that question. What am I coding? I'm trying to rewrite gas in Unreal Engine. It's an Unreal Engine thing. I'm trying to rewrite it into my ECS, basically. And yeah, there is a lot to rewrite. Is within yeah, these functions are kind of weird. Like, they don't. Do I even want to keep these still? They'll all have to pass in the subsystem, the instigator piece of data, and then we'll have to like get the target data. I mean, I guess that's what they all are, right? Is within max range. The ability. We'll just probably need the entity subsystem on all of these. Ability, and then F, we'll do const F targetable. So get rid of the source ability system component. If targetable is not valid, just return distance to target. Get max range. Yeah, we'll need to change that. Ability will need to have its max range, I guess, pre-populated. Marcus, welcome. Welcome. Is within max range. Check distance to target real quick here. Oh, we just called distance. Okay, that's kind of a dumb. We're just gonna call distance to passing in the target. Entity subsystem. We'll do that for now. I need the current location. Yeah. Ability. Do I need the ability? Get max range. God, these functions turn into such like little tiny pieces of things where it's like, is this even worth being a function? Instigator location. Ability get max range. Okay, so what do I want to do about these guys? What do I want to do about these guys? Should I just rewrite it with let me look at this again. Source, get owner, get component by class. I wonder if I should just rewrite it to take an owner actor. Oh, right. I remember the reason I wrote these is because I was calling them on a CDO. And the CDO doesn't have activation information in it yet. So I had to like pass in pieces of the activation information. Velcro beans. Good morning. Welcome in. Beans. I remember the bean raid. Like it was yesterday. The second coming of beans it was. I'm so hesitant to rewrite this because I know everything's gonna break. Let's just like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? To get rid of this ability system component shit. If I'm thinking about the world of the future, where all of this is in an ECS, the max range of an ability is going to be dictated by a piece of data called something like F range ability data. That is going to have the range on it. But all of that information is like subject to you know, some sort of calculation that can change based on, you know, some attributes and stuff like that. Same with cooldown, same with cost. And so how would I want that to be, like, where would that be calculated in the world of an ECS? Does the ability activation processor do all of that? That seems like a lot for one processor. I wonder if, like, when abilities are activated, not sure where the rest of the beans are this morning. Yeah, we've lost the beans. Because I could just spawn the ability as an entity with all the different entity components that it would have, and then I could have a processor pick it up and say, like a calculate range processor, right? Like that would be really nice and compact. And there could be a different processor for calculating range, calculating cooldown, calculating cost. And that would be very nice and encapsulated. And you know, if I ever wanted to change the calculation for one, I would know exactly where to go, rather than having to dig through a giant activation processor. But that would require me to actually spawn the ability entity, which is what this activation processor would eventually do. Right now, it's not going to spawn an entity. It's just creating the new gameplay ability class, instance, whatever. But if it needs to, this activation processor needs to check if it can activate, and it needs to handle all of this stuff. Or otherwise, what is it even doing? All it's doing is just it's just spawning the ability. That's all it would do. I might as well just do that from whatever adds this activate ability data, because that's just such a trivial thing. All I would be doing is creating a new ability. I guess I would need to know which abilities need their shit to get calculated, you know? I could have different processors that like this activate ability data. Because in the future, this is going to be like an archetype for an entity to spawn, not an ability class. So I could have a bunch of different processors that pick up this activate ability data and start populating the fields within the archetypal components for range and cost and cooldown. And then the activation processor only ever just needs to check if those values are valid and not actually calculate them. There's so many different ways to do this. You know, why would I want multiple processors to do it? One, it might be faster. It might be faster to do that. Two, it's better encapsulated. I don't need to like bring in all this different data and stuff. If I just want to like check, you know, if I just want to calculate the fucking cooldown and stuff. But what would that look like right now? Should I just put that on the ability? But like I have nowhere to put that right now. If I were to calculate it up front, I have nowhere to put that other than the instantiated ability, which doesn't get built until the activation processor. Should I just do it all in here at first? Like, and then once I get to the world where my abilities are entity archetypes, then make that switch then. Just do the naive approach. Yeah, I think I always opt for the more naive approach at first. Yeah, I guess let's move forward with that. And so the is within max range. Subsystem. The ability. Instigator location. So we need to pass in location data. Right. Location entity data. And then the targets. Why are you mad? Oh yeah, because it doesn't exist. There you go. Yeah, the get max range. That's where I was like tripped up on. So I just pass a null pointer to the source. It's like it's for the melee attack that needs to calculate the max range. I guess for something like that, whenever the ability is I would need some logic somewhere for like if an ability is a melee ability, grab the range of the weapon. I would do that from outside of the ECS, like, because otherwise I would just need like for like the ECS stuff, like put like, yeah, I'm saying like a lot because I don't know what the fuck to do. Or rather, there's so many options I don't know which one to pick. And for an ECS, you'd want individual pieces of data for all of this fucking logic, which seems so annoying to have to do in like a pure composition way, like to have a calculation for range be sometimes based on equipment. You'd want a piece of entity data that's like calculate F melee range or just F melee range entity data. And it would be empty, but then that would tell the whatever processor calculates range to look at the weapons on the entity. It just seems like so annoying to write, especially for all, like it's only one thing. There's only one thing I actually need it for, the weapon ability. Should I mix the object orient? I mean, I guess I already am mixing object oriented and data driven concepts here. It would be a lot easier for the whatever calculates range to just say, hey, is this ability a melee ability? But how would it say it in a world where my abilities are archetypes, which is just a collection of data? How would I tell if it's a melee ability or not? There would need to be a tag on it, an empty piece of data, an empty component that's just F melee ability or something. What are you doing? I'm trying to rewrite the gameplay ability system, which is something within Unreal Engine. I'm trying to rewrite it into the ECS system that I've written. Tags is very common for this. Tags in terms, because like tag can also refer to a piece of empty entity data. And like in the ECS world, that's what a tag refers to. But in Unreal Engine, tags mean like gameplay tags. And yeah, in Gas, that would be kind of what a gameplay tag would do. Yeah. And I like gameplay tags. I like using them. I think the gameplay ability system has a bit of a fetish for using them though, because like it's almost like every single cooldown is a different tag. Like that's what they want you to do. That's the built-in way to do it, which is to me crazy. Like I just want a number for cooldown. So I overrode that part of it. But then sometimes it's like I just need some inheritance to handle it, right? Like, which is how I did the melee abilities. Like I have a base melee ability and I have the get max range, and so any melee ability that extends from that just automatically calculates its max range based on the melee weapon, and it doesn't really I don't need to create a whole bunch of fucking tags for everything, but I guess that's the world I'm gonna get into anyway. I think I'm having the same issue with my game right now. I tried to create a whole ability system and I hate it. I have to rewrite it again, but I think I'm having the same issues. Try to be able to give data-driven things to the object, like this needs this much range, needs line of sight, it does magical damage, can target friendly. However, it's been a pain. Are you using Unreal Engine or are you in a different engine? Because like, yeah, if you don't need something like super performant, you know, you check out gameplay ability system in Unreal Engine, because that handles a lot of it for you. And then there is a learning curve, but like that, oh, you're in Unity. Gotcha. So yeah. No built-in solution there, I suppose. But the gameplay ability system has these assets. They have gameplay abilities, which is it's like a class, but it's a default class. Like you don't actually use an instantiation of the class, but that has all the data on it that acts as your composition, right? Same with a gameplay effect. Not that I'm aware, but probably on the asset store. Oh yeah. I feel like the ability systems are not something you want to go to the asset store for. Like that's something you either use the built-in thing for or you write yourself. Like that's the juice of the game, you know. Yeah, so in Gas there's the gameplay ability like class itself that never gets instantiated. It just operates on the default object, and then the actual instantiation of that is called the gameplay spec, which is just like the piece of like calculated data, right? And the same goes for effects. There is a default class called the gameplay effect, and then there's a gameplay effect spec that is the actual invocation or instantiation of that effect. Abilities, effects, attributes, it was so hard to wrap my head around, honestly. Yeah, it's a steep learning curve, but like once you, and I'll link what I learned, what I used to learn it. This guy has some great documentation. Tranic, here we go. So I'll link this. This is what I used to learn Gas, if anyone's interested in getting into it. Once you wrap your head around, you know, what is the gameplay, like this, the ability, spec, and handle, like those are three different things, you know. Once you wrap your head around that, and then abilities, effects, and attributes, then you start to realize that, like, yeah, this is probably something similar to what I would have written anyway. Right? Like attributes are just floats that can be modified by effects. Effects are just things that have some execution to them. They modify attributes in some way periodically, or maybe they have a duration, maybe they're one time, maybe they're infinite and they're used as like a calculation for how much health the character has. And then an ability is like just something that can be activated and does some arbitrary logic to apply effects and stuff like that. Had some time working with Gas for a customer's project. Gas is crazy. Can't imagine the need to rewrite it. Just using it gave me a headache. Well, I'm trying to rewrite it to be more efficient. Because I wrote an ECS it because I want to run the whole world. And combat was my biggest bottleneck. I could get around 200 entities in combat before it was like 20 FPS. And it was all because of the just gameplay effect executions were taking like 100 microseconds, which times 1,000 is too long, you know, way too long. Once it clicks, it's fine. Yeah, but sadly, the Unreal Discord is like one of the least helpful communities. Yeah, there are a lot of Unreal Discords out there that I have not been thrilled to ask questions in. And I actually asked a question, and the guy who created Mass gave me like the most elitist answer possible. I'm like, yep, never doing that again. The answer to any question is, why are you even doing? I know, right? Yeah, that is almost my exact fucking experience. Why are you even doing? And it's like, dude, I don't want to give you my whole backstory of why I'm doing something. Anyways, is within max range. We need get range. But yeah, I guess I would have either a gameplay tag or an entity data tag that would dictate how to calculate it. So get max range on the ability for the so my abilities are actually instantiated now, which is kind of nice, actually, kind of nice. They're instantiated, so they should have some information on them. They're not going to be CDOs anymore. Goodbye prediction. Yeah, goodbye network prediction. They were livid that I was doing gas from both C++ and blueprints. What? Why? What is the... I'm doing that. I'm doing that. What was the fucking argument there? Like, you can't create an ability in C++ and then also in blueprints? Like, you have to do some C++ to set it up anyways. Gas is meant to be both. Yeah, I don't know what the argument would have been there. Anyways, let me find where the other use cases here and see if we can rewrite them to not use the source. It's really just get the avatar actor. But really, let's change this to just F int B. Owner T. This is going to be, we need to pass in, because we can just get the entity subsystem on here. So we'll go F entity owner entity. Forward declare that. This will be what, context dot entity. Well, where does this come from? Where did that come from? I think they were just stuck on the fact that I was working alone and using gas at all, since it's effectively a tool designed for teams. Dude, that sounds so toxic. That does not sound true at all to me. Wait, did I delete everything from here on accident? What? I did. What the hell happened? Hopefully we can deprecate that function entirely, just delete it. Owner entity. Okay. Oh, I keep hitting escape. Owner, I guess I need should the ability just have the owner entity on it? Should I just set the fucking entity on it when we create it? Let's just do that. Fuck it. Let's just fucking do that. I'm sure what I'm doing, they would in that Discord. Gameplay ability base, yeah. So let's just do like owner entity here. I guess we need to include the def there, yeah. And then here, delete that. Well, we'll need to delete all these. So I might as well just do it now. Get damage, we would need to pass in a target there. Good God, there's going to be so many places. So many places that I need to update. Post-calc damage scaling. Okay, so that's gonna be a lot to fix. That's gonna be a lot to fix. Okay, let's just get rid of all the old parameters, and I'll go back and fix them all. I've absolutely butchered my project. And it's not going to compile for a while at this point. Source component, target component. We don't need source. Target component becomes target entity. Oh man. Oh god. So much needs to change. Holy shit. Oh, it's all sinking in. It's all sinking in. Oh no. Results? Question mark. Current target, get ability system component, deal damage. Well, we just do that now, so that gets a little simpler. Calc base damage. We pass nothing into. Okay, source component, get current target. What is gas start? Gameplay ability system. It's like a built-in Unreal Engine framework. So the current target we should get from the ability or the entity subsystem. Auto current, or no, we'll go F targetable, or no, I guess it's F target entity data. Yeah. Or the target is not valid otherwise. Okay. Owner, entity, target goes there. Is within max range, is within min range. Am I rewriting those to utils functions? I think that's what I was doing. God, I'm so lost in the sauce now. Is within max range, distance 2 is target faction attackable. I guess these functions still exist, but they exist on, yeah, these ones, I guess, because they're on the ability system component, need to all change. Distance to target. So I guess just, this can just wrap, I suppose, the EU entity ability utils. Although, is this used anywhere now? I guess it's used, yeah, sort of. We'll see if we, let's see if we can just get it to is within max range. So we want to get the subsystem. Let me grab that. entity subsystem. This instigator location. Okay, so I need to grab F location entity data. If there is no location data, yeah, return false. Otherwise, dereference location data into there. And then the targetable. So I would need to get the current target as well. F target entity data. If there is no target or it's invalid, yeah, return false. Otherwise, target data dot target dot entity. No, just target. Location data. Oh, I need location data, just location. So never mind, we don't do that. Location, there we go. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So I suppose we should rewrite the is within min range now too. Probably needs to just basically be the same thing. Why is that acting so weird? Ryder, why are you being weird? Am I being dumb right now? Why is this not like resolving? Okay, there we go. Jeez. Oh, it just completely deleted the function. Okay, but now it's fine. Now it's fine. Okay. Okay, make that static. Okay, and so we can replace, basically do the same thing in here. Which, how did this function get longer with the utils function? I don't know. Well, we should probably just have like have an entity subsystem on here. And then a wrapper for getting the target data. I mean, if target data, yeah. Before I forget, let's go in here and add the owner entity. That's now important. Is there a constructor on here or something? Some initialize? Let's just like add it from outside. This is gonna be placeholder anyway. So let's have a t-object pointer, no, you my entity subsystem. We'll just set that from outside as well. Okay. That's ranged ability. We're not there yet. We're not quite there yet. We're almost there though. So let's entity subsystem, we can get rid of that. And there. Okay. Make a damage spec. Oof. Oof. Okay. So those are the two non-resolving areas now. Although there's probably more on other abilities. What are we trying here? We're trying to rewrite gas in baby steps. And the baby steps are not so baby. They are not so baby. So making the damage spec. This is where we need to diverge. Because like, I don't think I'm going to have the concept of a spec. The spec is just the spawned entity. So this maybe just we commented out maybe. Because I need a whole like effect application processor, apply effect processor or something now. Yeah, let's just comment that out. Okay, we'll move over to ranged ability here. Get max range. So here we can get the equipment component from source object. Which can be... Can I just do entity here? Owner entity. Get component from object. No, we'd have to... This is going to have to look up the proxy actor. I thought I had a function for this somewhere. Get entity data. No, there's not one that just takes in entity, is it? Is there? From source. I guess I can just add a entity interface to the gameplay ability. That'll solve the issue. Entity interface. And then I would just need to implement get entity as well. We'll just do that at the bottom. What is red in here? Okay, that's just lying to me then. Cool. Okay, so now we can do get component from object, just doing this, and that still works. Calc-based damage, we no longer need that. Source component deal damage. Yeah, so this, I mean, I might as well just not update this function. I might as well not update that function. So let's actually turn that back. This one's it's gonna need a larger, more substantial change. So that would be all we need to do there. Yeah. Wait. Deal damage and get damage, those are gonna stay old. They are going to stay old. Okay, so ranged ability, are you okay now? Ranged ability is okay now. Melee auto attack ability. I think you're okay now. Gameplay ability base, deal damage. F, okay. F, okay. Comment that out, I suppose. That is the apply effect. That is going to need to do the effect application. Yeah, so we'll get there. We will get there. Why are you still angry at me? There's nothing wrong. Why are you mad? I'm right. Okay, with all that being said, I think we can finally get back to the ability activation processor. And say ability is within max range. Rather than passing all of this through. Although it would be better to use. I think it would be a little bit more efficient to use these things so that we don't do additional lookups that aren't necessary. B is within max range or B is within min range. Okay. We've got range. And what am I returning from here? Am I just not? Yeah, I guess it would just return for now. I don't know what we want to do if this gets canceled. I think there's going to be some sort of callback or something. I need some like cancellation processor as well. Okay, so cooldown. I don't know that we need that there anymore. But now we need cost. Okay, so this is where we're going to get into the attributes. Am I replacing attributes or am I working with them for now? I think I have to replace them. Because they exist on the ability system component, and that's what I'm trying to get rid of. Oh my god, there's gonna be so many fucking bugs. There's gonna be so many fucking bugs when I do this. Oh man. I can't wait. Can't wait. This is a long journey we've embarked on, and I don't know that I'm happy about it. It needs to be done. It needs to be done, though. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna replace the... I guess I'm replacing attributes. And I think for now, what I'll do is just... We can just have the attribute set on a piece of data. And eventually, we'll just expand the attribute set to having the individual attributes on data. And I think there's probably going to be some special pieces of data for like health and damage. Those are special. Every other one is just like, you know, strength, stamina, that kind of stuff. That doesn't really like, we don't need that to be like super efficient or anything. So this is going to be attribute entity data. Yeah, we're rewriting gas. And so I guess for here, we're just going to have a t-object pointer of u attribute set. Can I forward declare that? And so I would need that data too. Jesus, there's so much data. F attribute entity data, put that there. Const attribute data. Every entity needs that. Okay, so I need to grab the resource cost of the ability. There is check cost. Did I override that? I did. Okay. Okay. Get cost. Yeah. Okay. Get numeric attributes. So we need to like rewrite this basically. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to like make an underlying implementation for this. Check cost. We'll just call it impl for now. Eventually we'll get rid of the other one. And then I'll want to copy basically everything in here. We don't want the cost gameplay effect. Cost now, well, I guess we can get the get cost gameplay effect. Never mind, I guess we do get that. I guess we do get that. Actor info, get numeric attribute. Resource value, cost mod dot attribute. So I will need to get the attribute set on here. I think U attribute set, pointer attribute set would do this attribute, because you can, I hope you can look up get numeric. What is get numeric attribute? Okay, what does this do? Oh my fucking god, dude. Okay, so I'm gonna need to call get numeric value. Is this a static? No, they're doing it on the class. Get numeric. Okay, so I need to rewrite this guy. Give me this. And maybe this should go in ability utils. That's a better spot for it. U entity ability utils. Get numeric attribute. Get attribute subobject. Okay, so I need to copy that now too. Oh, and then I have to get all the attributes like on the entity. Then I get the attribute set. This is just like, it's just a U. So wait, what do we need to do here to get this generically? Do I just need to copy this? F gameplay attribute to get value. Attribute. Get numeric attribute. And this is an F gameplay attribute. So can I just do this then? Yeah, I can just do this then. I don't need to rewrite all of this. We don't need to do that. So we're just going to do this. Cost mod dot attribute. Cost mod dot attribute with this attribute set. There we go. There we go. At cost impl, yes. Okay, so now we're just going to call this check cost impl. Passing in an attribute set to use. Okay. Back to where the hell were we? Activate ability processor. Ability, what was it? Ability activation processor. Check cost impl. And we will say attribute data dot attribute set will be as resources. If we don't have that, we return. Okay, so I think that's all of the checks out of the way. Well, now we need to do gameplay tag data. Now we need to check if the proper gameplay tags are on here. Should we do that first, maybe? Should we do that first? Can't activate ability. So I guess this kind of already checks all of that. So we shouldn't. This should all be gone. That's all gonna comment out. So now this only exists as a way to, I guess the only one we do additionally now is melee, weapon special ability checks for the weapon based on the owner actor, which is great. Great. That one does nothing. That's commented out. That one does nothing. Ranged ability checks for weapon information as well with the owner actor. So yeah, we're all good there. Yeah, we're all good there. So we don't need to do any of that anymore. I'm just gonna leave that commented out for now. Via some yieldy source control, which is just commenting out the code. Gameplay tag data. Okay, so now we need to check if I need to get like all the activation blocked tags or whatever. Because those are on. Thank God I didn't close the engine, because now I can check here. So the ability does have tag information on it. Oh, and then there's source and target blocked tags. So this is going to be activation blocked tags, which, okay, let me search that. Activation blocked tags. Oh, is it fucking protected? Ugh. Okay. I guess I got to write some wrapper functions for that. Yeah. Fuck. Where are you used at? Does ability satisfy tag requirements? That takes in an ability system component. Yeah, so we're going to need to write our own one of those that takes in a gameplay tag set for probably the source and target. For probably the source and target. So my gameplay ability base. Where do I want to write this? Has ability. We'll just write it right here. Bool satisfies tag requirements. Didn't even spell that right. Satisfies tag requirements. So I need the F gameplay tag entity data. Or declare. We can const ref owner tag data, or rather instigator tag data const. I can't spell, man. Can't spell. Instigator tag data, and then I want target tag data as well, but I guess I would just pass in the target entity. So we're gonna write that now. Okay. So now I have access to those protect key fields. What is this? This is me rewriting Unreal Engine's gameplay ability system. Target entity. So I can, let's grab the F gameplay tag entity data, target tag data, do that. If we don't have it, I don't think we necessarily would want to return false there, because like if we don't have any, let's just do this. Let's say F gameplay tag container, right? It would be a gameplay tag container, I hope. Target tags equals, there you go, something like that. Something like that. Then that way we can just kind of like, if it has it, it has it. Yeah. Target tags, and then I'll just do the same thing. Can I constraft that? Yeah. We'll do instigator tags too. There you go. Just to make it easy to work with, right? Okay, so we have that all kind of extracted. Then I'll just need to go through and do all the passes. So activation owned tags, or activation blocked tags. Oh no, these are gameplay tag containers as well. Yeah, okay. So if target, or if maybe should I say self tags? I kind of want to say self tags or something here. Oh well. As tag, does tag container match? It's probably has any. Yeah, has any. Return false. Honestly, yeah, check this first. Check these first. So we don't even need to look up the target tags. If we get to the end, you can return true. Tags, if they have any activation block tag. What are my other ones here? Activation required tags. Okay. So if instigator tags, if it doesn't have all activation required tags, return false. Cancel abilities with tags, block abilities with tag. What does that even do? Does that... I don't like that there's this two-way data shenanigans happening here, because like I feel like it should only be one way for the blocked versus canceled. Because the two-way makes it really complicated to figure out where something's coming from. Source required source. So what is the difference between source required and activation required? Is there any fucking difference? This ability can only be activated if the activating actor has all of these tags. Source. This ability can only be activated if the source actor component has all of these tags. Are these the same fucking thing? Hang on, did they write the same thing? Does he read chat? Yes, I read chat, but I also try to work and get things done. So there's a fine balance that needs to be made there. Check for blocked. This is just a personal, I don't work as a game dev, no, it's just personal project. So I think source tags, I guess source tags can be optionally supplied and checked. But it does also check for asset tags and owned tags. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'm just not gonna do the source tag one because that's one and the same for me. But now we can check the target tags. If target tag data or target tags dot has any target blocked tags, Yeah, then we can return false as well. If it doesn't have all required tags, I don't think so. I just answered. I need job. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks for letting us know. Do keep us subscribe. Do keep us in the loop on that. Do you still need a job now? I haven't heard from you in about 30 seconds, so I just want to make sure I'm up to date on your job status. Okay, but let's do this satisfies tag requirements. And then I just want gameplay tag data, target dot B satisfies tag rex. If we don't satisfy the tag requirements, we can return. Okay, so I think we've, for the most part, done it. The activation, that is. So if we get here, then we can, like, I guess this is where I need to create my activated abilities map or array or whatever, what have you, so on and so forth, and what have you. Or I guess it could be a T set? Well, no, because you could have multiple abilities of the same type. Well, no, but they're pointers. They're pointers. Oh yeah, where do the pointers live? I guess they will need to live here. Let's call this activated ability data. So I have activate ability data, and then I have activated ability data. A little confusing. A little confusing, but it is what it is. Do I need this to be a U property? Yes, I do, because there's going to be pointers in here. Is this just an array? I think this is just an array of of T object pointer, my gameplay ability base. Activated abilities. Is that Android Studio? No, I am not. I am not making an Unreal Engine game in Android Studio. JetBrains makes other editors that are more suitable for game development. Abilities on cooldown data. I guess this is where I need to process the cooldown maybe too, or I was going to have a cooldown processor. Yeah, I was going to have a cooldown processor. Checking the abilities on cooldown data. But what if I don't have one? Do I need to add it here? And this is optional, I suppose, because I ask which programming language did you use for that project? Well, there is a pinned comment that should have been right above the box where you typed in that question that says C++ on it. Sorry to give you a sarcastic response, but I put that there because that is the question I get asked a million times a day. Are you mixing blueprints with C++? Yes. Yes, I am. Mostly C++ though. Satisfy activated abilities, right? So do I need to like add this if it doesn't exist already? Activated abilities. Okay, so if we haven't activated abilities, or rather, if we do have activated abilities, add. Well, let's do something like this. Let's do that. This one should be data. Did I make that a ref? That shouldn't be. No, it's a pointer. This needs to be data. There we go. I guess I can. Right. Yeah. How would I instantiate a ref? Yeah. Unless I did some move semantics here. Is it worth doing move semantics here? Wait, because it's a raw pointer, I can't add it. What? What? Add ability is not a what? Wait, am I being dumb here? Why is this function is missing const qualifier. Duh. Okay, duh. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Else. New activated abilities data, add it. We need to queue add entity data. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's the problem though. What if multiple abilities are activated for an entity in a single frame? Is that even possible? Is that even would it be possible for an ability to get activated for one entity to have multiple abilities activated in a single frame? I don't think so. Rewriting gas, quite the project. I know it's gonna be a pain. Are you making an extension of gas or creating your own system? So I'm rewriting it to fit within my ECS. So I'm rewriting it to be like more performant. And kind of an intermediary step that I'm taking is I'm still going to use the gameplay assets that I already have, like the gameplay abilities and the gameplay effects. And then I'm essentially just going to try and replace the ability system component. That's like step one. And so I'm just trying to, like, this is the life cycle. This is an ability activation processor. And so checking like cooldown, range, cost, tag requirements. But yeah, I guess I'm limited to, with the way I have this set up now, I'm limited to only being able to activate one ability per frame, per entity. I think that's okay for what I have now, but that does feel like a kind of drawback. I eventually am going to have abilities be their own entities. So potentially an ability activation could be, you know, a part of that as well. And then that way, anytime you activate an ability, it just spawns a new ability and then the processors pick up that entity and stuff. This requires so much owner information, though. That's the problem. Like, how do I get the owner? Because either I iterate over the owner entities and then check what, you know, abilities need to be activated there, or I have to iterate over all abilities that need to be activated and then look up their owner information. Which doesn't feel great either. Couldn't you create an activation queue so any number of them could be played on the frame? Yeah, so the activate, so right now they're activated from a piece of entity data that just has like one activation on it. So I could create another piece of data to contain which abilities to activate. Yes, that is possible. But I don't think there's any case right now where that would happen. So I think I'm going to leave it as is. Because this is actually a good stopping place. This is a good stopping place. Well, let me figure out what I'm going to do about starting the cooldown. Should I start the cooldown from this processor, or should I start it from a cooldown processor that does the ticking of the cooldown, right, on the activated ability? So the instantiated ability will now need like a cooldown float. Or no, like I should probably just create the entity data for it and do that. I'll think about that next time. I have to get off and go to work. Let's see who's streaming that I can send you guys over to. Let's raid Stevie. We haven't raided Stevie in a while. I don't think Stevie does YouTube. Let me check real quick.
What?
No. The answer is no. Okay, so we're gonna raid Stevie over on Twitch. I have to go to work now, so. But thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for the subs, guys. Thank you. It was good. This is gonna be a long journey. This is gonna be a long fucking journey. Thank you for the subs, guys. Thank you for the subs and the likes and everything, and just hanging out. I appreciate you. Appreciate you all. I love doing web dev, or not web dev. I love doing game dev. Sorry, I need to go do web dev now, which is not fun. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back again tomorrow morning. So peace out.